So I move to amend the ordinance by adding section 4 to read, section 4 referral. This ordinance is referred to the electors of the city of Corvallis for approval at the next scheduled election on May 16th, 2023.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, discussion on that amendment. Now go ahead, Councilor Struthers.
Thank you. And
So I'm going to jump in here and say, why are we bothering with this, all this work we're doing? If we were going to, why do little amendments when you're going to refer it to the voters, and perhaps you ought to table it and rewrite it? That said, if part of that is being fed up with the number of meetings we've spent going in detail here, and we're doing this again tonight. And if the sense is we're referring it to the voters, then that means we're not going to do anything for until May. Okay, go ahead, Councilor.
so the reason I'm asking for this to be referred to the voters, and I'm asking the council to support it, is I have been honestly having conversations with my ward, also out there in the community. And a lot of folks that I've talked with, there are folks who support this and that I've talked with, but there's also folks who don't feel that it's appropriate for the city to be doing this, to be putting this requirement on sellers. They believe it is an overreach, and I can understand that. Additionally, I've been listening to folks, and they said, please refer this to voters. They don't feel like they've been educated enough. They don't believe there's been enough outreach. They don't believe that as a city we have done our part to do all that work. Additionally, I'm sort of not happy with the process of how we got here. I actually went back and rewatched the January 20th work session where we had an initial discussion on this. And it was sort of recapped that we would actually have a second work session, and I'm not going to start pointing fingers or trying to figure out how that didn't happen, but we didn't have a second work session, and we came straight to an ordinance. And I feel kind of in a weird place because we're trying to have a policy discussion, and we have been pointing out, don't do that, or that's how I feel. And I feel the best way to get this out there to the public is to refer it to them. Our SOP, some folks have referred to our SOP that it says to get this done, and I've gone and reviewed our SOP, and actually it doesn't say that. The SOP, all it says is explore a home energy score program by December 31st, 2022. Doesn't mention implementation, doesn't say get it done. Again, we haven't done any outreach. We have, or at least I personally feel like there hasn't been enough outreach from what I've heard. And people I have talked to have said, if you refer this and the voters approve it, they'll accept it and be done with it. And I'm trying to find a compromise. I'm trying to find a compromise to those who want a mandatory one, and trying to compromise with those who want to have an actual say on the process for when they're trying to sell their home. And this is the compromise I can find.
Further discussion, councilors? Councilor Shepherd?
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, I'm gonna start off by saying I think this is ridiculous. I think it is ridiculous to refer it to the voters. It is a waste of taxpayer dollars. We will have to pay to put this on the ballot. This is not a general election in November where we can put it whatever we want. We would have to pay thousands of dollars to put this on the ballot. Not to mention the special interest money that's going to go into this from realtors, from climate groups. I don't understand why this is a good idea. It's baffling to me that we would delegate our responsibility as elected officials for the city of Corvallis to pass up in what I can only describe as passing the buck. This is our chance to do something right, our chance to be a functional elected body, and we're delaying it till after a general election so we can all sit back and wait for whatever result to come through. We're delaying it till after the November 22 election, where everybody on this table, except for Biff, is up on the ballot. How much time and effort does it take to educate voters on a ballot initiative? There are statewide ballot initiatives that take millions of dollars. I helped run our charter amendment thing, our charter amendment ballots. We only put in one voter's pamphlet statement. I shouldn't say we, because the council did not. I created a pack. We put in statements, $300 each for the city. How many voters pamphlet statements do you think there's going to be for this? Tons. There's going to be people arguing in favor, arguing in opposition. That's thousands more dollars that we're asking our citizens to spend on something that we are refusing to address. We've been tabling this. We've been ignoring this. It's been in our plan. I just want, frankly, I just want us, if we're going to vote no, vote no. If we're going to vote yes. But like, let's stop delaying this. If you are opposed to the ordinance, vote no tonight, please. Don't delay it to an election. This is just, this is in the worst sense, delaying our responsibility. We are a republic. We're not a direct democracy for a reason. Voters expect us to make hard decisions for them, and we're not doing that. And so, Mayor, I apologize for my emotions, but that's where I'm at. So I will cede the floor.
Let's go on next, Councilor Napak.
I agree with the motion from Councilor Struthers. Thank you. What we're doing is we are demanding $150 to $200 from each and every home seller. And for that, it's as though it were a fee. It is as though it were a tax. And in that respect, we do need to ask them their permission to spend that money on someone else's behalf. It's not on their behalf because you can, selling houses now in Corvallis is like, it's just like an auction. You don't need to dress up a house to sell it, and you're going to get 105% of the asking price. So I think that the integrity of a council looking at the community and what they want to do, as opposed to putting out edicts and fiats, as this is what we're going to do and you're going to enjoy it and live with it because it's good for you. That's not going to, it's
Right,
bad.
Thank you, Councilor. You're
Thank you.
getting to repeat. So Councilor Ellis.
I think we just need to vote on this thing. I think we need to show leadership. It's not that complicated. There are much more complex issues we have to be spending our time on. And if we did not ask the voters for money for council compensation, which was their tax money going to us, I feel like this is less money, not to everybody, and we just need to vote. I do not want to send it to the voters.
Councilor Lytle.
Can I please make an amendment? Because as the ordinance reads now, it includes tiny homes, RVs, all have to have home energy scores before you sell
So you can't do
them.
that now because we have on the table a referral to the voters, a motion to
Okay.
refer it to the voters, which, and I guess after if that passes, we could come back and amend what goes to the voters.
That's why I
So,
wanted to do it.
well, I'm sorry you were not prepared and we're late, and
The
I'm not
internet
going to
cut
wait
out.
forever for things. So any other
Things in
discussion
a
on
rush.
this motion to table? All right, not table, the motion to refer to the voters, essentially tabling it until May, but that's a different perspective. And all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no.
No.
Oh,
Let's take a roll call vote.
Councilors Lytle,
Aye.
Jansilla,
aye.
Yee,
No.
Struthers,
Yes.
Schaefer,
No.
Shepherd,
No.
Ellis,
No.
Chaplin,
Yes.
Napak.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-4.
So councilors, I would like to say to you, I'm extremely disappointed. I don't know why you're in office or running for office again. I will share that because there is a responsibility and to make decisions. I would also then like to ask you, I was going to ask to have the this item, someone to make a motion to table it for something about 2 months out, where we have a less tight schedule, where we can make.
Why? If I shouldn't run for office again, then.
Well, Counselor, if you want to react that way, you can. I was talking about the fact that this got pushed to referring it to the voters. We can edit it further, but we have a land use matter to deal with this evening, at a minimum more, and we're down one counselor. So counselors, we have on the table still an ordinance or an opportunity to amend ordinance, this ordinance, which has been referred to the voters. It is possible to amend it to make it better, easier to pass or whatever, or to clarify it. But I suggest tonight's not the night to do that. And